Oh, my homosexuals, how are you doing? Let me know how you're doing, for real. I hope you're doing as good as I'm doing, because don't get me wrong, I feel great, but my core needs some uplifting. I decided to make it a little fun today, make it a little difficult. I'm leaving town for a couple days tomorrow night, so you'll get to see me tomorrow. Don't get worried. You still get one more after today, and then I'm going to be gone for a couple days. Really let my body rest. But, with only 2 days to work out, can't really do anything that's on normal programming type schedule. So I just thought it'd be fun to do some good snatch and clean and jerk work, doing some pretty wacky volume. It just felt like I was doing cardio at that point. And I'm not going to lie, pretty tired. I'm pretty burnt. That thing took me out. You'll see it later, but I almost fell forward on my last rep, and I was just like, it sucks, but I made it, and we committed, and we got through it, so we're fine. I got to take it for what it is. Do better next time. That's all it is. Tomorrow I'm gonna focus more on just doing some back squat and bench press to get the other half of the lifts that I love. I don't really know what I'm gonna do weight wise or rep wise. I really don't want to go too crazy before I leave town. I know typically you'd want to go really heavy before you leave for a couple days so that you can come back and do volume and work it back up without losing as much strength. But, it's just a couple days. Sometimes you just got to be real with yourself. And it's like, I've been maintaining, doing one giant heavy lift is not going to make me any more stronger than I am today. And realistically, I'm going to be able to maintain my strength just as well as I've been doing, regardless of how heavy I have to go, Because I don't think people realize it is not that hard to maintain strength. It's hard to progress past. I just hit myself with a double word and it just totally short-circuited my brain. It's hard to work past your old limits. It's hard to make progress. It's hard to do better, That's why we do it. It's like the definition of insanity, doing it over and over and over, even though it might not work. But then that one time when it does, that's what keeps us going. It's what keeps us sane in the end. But all in all, physically, I'll give it a 7.7. 7.6. I can't lie to myself. My brain thought 6, and my head wanted to say 7. But whatever. I still feel good. Don't get me wrong. The snatches actually went pretty well. It was pretty decent, but with just how hard I went the other day on my power clean and jerk, my body was pretty burnt out today. It's normal. It happens. And I'm not going to lie, my left quad tendon that's been bugging me the past couple months, not that it felt painful, but it did feel sore. It did feel weaker. So, again, I got to take that knowledge very deeply. When it comes to perspective, you can take it with a grain of salt all you want. But the experience that I'm going through currently, that's what I got to really hold on to and remember and progress past over next time, Because even though it's just a little bit of soreness, my lift still felt fine today. My knee might be just slightly sore, just slightly. It's still, I'm not really getting any kickback from it, which is nice. And it is better than what I have been at. But I got to remember, any sort of like pain / soreness or weakness, it's a sign. My body's like, hey man, we're still not balanced out yet. We need to keep control over that little part that might be a big detriment to my training later on, This is why I'm excited to go out of town for a couple of days, because it's an excuse for me to actually let my body rest for a little while, really give it some time to get over what I've put it through. Otherwise, mentally, I can give it a 7.9, right there. It's not just an 8, just below it, but still pretty decent of a day. Not that I'm having a bad day by any means, but I'm tired, I just got done with my classes for the semester. I had my finals, all that. My knee being sore, even though it's not a big deal, it brings back the memories of the efforts that I put in the past 2 months. So I got to remind myself, this is why we got to chill out and make sure we take care of our body before we hit some PRs, The power clean and jerk 315 max the other day was honestly an accident. I wanted to do a comfortable, heavy single, and I ended up just having it in me. And I'm glad I did it. That experience is gold on its own, But because I have learned from it now, I'm not going to do that kind of thing again. At least not for a while, until it feels like I can do it confidently with 100%, you know? So I'm just going to focus on really maintaining my body while I'm out of town, really just keeping my strength up in the parts of my body that have been suffering. I'm going to really try to rehabilitate my left knee and my left pec while I have time off. And, you know, even though this is an excuse for me to chill out for a little bit, why not just make it more of an excuse and like really take hold of the opportunity I have? And maybe it might be a good idea to just hang out for a little while, not go too crazy until I'm at truly 100%, you know, because it's funny. I wrote in my notepad in my phone, because I've been writing down my notes every day for the past 3-something years now, and I wrote down that these workouts were going to be my recovery to 100%, you know. The whole point was to not worry about programming, not worry about volume, not worry about sets, not worry about weight, just do what feels good and do what feels like it'll be the best for my knee, you know. And although I have been holding relatively true to that, you know, again, the max out the other day was a bit of an accident, but a little bit of ego. But regardless, sometimes what you really got to do is just take a step back. It's really hard. I know it seems so simple to anybody who may be new to the sport or not this is not a fucking jab at anybody. But if you're not super duper committed, like I am lifetime committed to this sport, like I want to do this shit forever kind of passion, then you might not see it the same way. But for me to even go off of program and just do random workouts for the most part, just work on recovery at all, is driving me kind of insane. I've been stuck to a program, doing my best to progress for so long that it is so hard to like force yourself to take a step back without other people like harshly advising you to. You know, that's what teaching is for. This is why I tell anybody, if you're going to get into the sport, you should have someone teach it to you, whether it's a friend, a coach, whoever, you know, whatever you can afford, whatever is available for you in the moment. You gotta really take the advice and perspective of people who have been through it. And so with my body's giving me these signs and knowing that I'm not at 100% yet, and if I went back to strength training right now, I'd probably get hurt. You know, that's realistic. You know, I gotta maintain what my body allows for me, not my head. You know, my brain wants to go back and kill it and go hard as hell and do what I can. But for the moment, I gotta make sure that I keep myself sane and, you know, really accept where I'm at. You know, it's tough. But what you gotta remind yourself of, I was just telling somebody about this today, where it seems like if you stop making progress, the initial response is, let's go harder. Let's do more. Even if it's not as heavy, let's go in twice as much, put in twice as much effort, go hard. And it's really hard to accept this when you've done it for so long, but some of the best things you can do for your body is allow it to reset. The best thing about your muscles and your physical body is the fact that we are blessed enough to have muscle memory. It is such a goddamn miracle that nobody really looks at enough, where, dude, you can leave the sport. I could leave right now, come back in a year, and probably get back to where I was within a month, if not a little less, maybe a little more. Who knows? But as long as I stay relatively physically active, like if I obviously cave dwell in my room and eat shit for months and months and months, then yeah, I'm going to get weaker. I'm going to get weaker either way. But muscle memory, dude, you pick that shit up immediately, because the effort and the experience that your body remembers does not just poof go away, you know? And like I was saying before, it's not that hard to maintain yourself physically. Like, let's say I quit today and decided to come back a year from now, and I literally just did body weight exercises, cardio, whatever you want to do. Even if I just did work with just an empty barbell, I guarantee you at the end of the year, I would be able to pick that strength up within a month or two, you know? Because as long as you keep the mobility up, keep your physicality up, you know, like make sure you don't get lazy, make sure you don't pack on a bunch of junk food for no reason, then you can come back and pick up some heavy shit because your body remembers it. Age is obviously a factor. If you're older, it's going to be way more difficult. But if you're in your especially in your teens, but teens to 20s to 30s, even 40s, even some 50s, depends on how well you treat yourself. You can chill out for a while and come back and be just as strong, if not stronger. Look at my 315 power clean and jerk. For God's sake, for 2 months, I've been going back and forth with my knee, doing light work, trying to chill out. I took like 4 or 5 days off, that was like barely over a week ago that I took that time off. It feels so long ago now, but time just flies by when you're loving it. And within a week of coming back, that same week, I power cleaned my old clean and jerk max. I have never clean and jerked over 315, and I power cleaned it, and I did nothing. And then I came back, did light stuff for 4 days, and then I just did it. It is not a miracle. It is not a random occurrence. It is not luck. It is the fact that you let your CNS, your mobility, your joints, your tendons, everything to recover and really come back at 100%. It's always good to push yourself. And obviously, if you're training hard every day, that's not a bad thing by any means. You know, I do a lot of crazy volume and crazy sets and all this other shit in my normal typical programming to where, no, I wouldn't be able to hit a PR as well as I'd like to on that kind of program. But it gets me stronger. I'm not here to max out. I'm here to get stronger, you know? So I'm okay with being in a position where I can't PR all the time, but I can hit really good volume with really good weight to maintain my consistency. That develops to discipline. That becomes my passion, you know? Ugh. I apologize for getting all worked up at you guys. I don't mean to yell. But, you know, I got to be honest. It gets to me, you know? I got to be honest and say I'm emotional too, you know? It hurts to have to do this. I don't want to. But the experiences that I've gone through and the love that I have for the sport are greater than my ego that wants to hit the heavy lifts on the normal training cycle. I need to maintain my body first. I've said it 1,000 times. You need to be physically aware at all times before you can do any sort of programming, any sort of maxing, any sort of crazy lifting, you know? That's probably why when I went back on the program a little over a month ago after I covered the first time with my knee, it's probably why I got injured again so quickly, or got close to it at least, because even though I wasn't doing heavy weights, I was doing some crazy volume. So in a sense, it was still putting the same amount of strain on my knee. It was just a lot more effort in several sets in volume rather than just a lot of that effort into one single rep. It all can balance out regardless of the weight, you know? So I got to be mindful of that. That's why I've been really chilling out with the volume recently and making sure that I'm not going to get hurt again. So all in all, you know, take a day or two if you need to, or a week, you know? God damn it, I know it feels lazy when you're committed to the gym and you just want to go so bad. But dude, even if you want to go that bad, just do mobility work. Just work with the empty barbell. Do what you got to do to maintain that consistency. But dude, do not risk your physical health, especially if you're younger. It's not worth it. It's just not. I want to do this forever. I want to be that old motherfucker snatching some funky ass weight. It doesn't have to be heavy. But to see an 80-year-old snatching anything, goddamn, you know? I would love to feel, see, and experience that. But the only way that I can do it is if I make sure I take the slow longevity route over my own ego, you know? So, and again, like I said, you're going to maintain. You know, you don't have to just do strength building every day. You can progress into different styles of training. I'm going to be out around the ocean for the next week. I'll do some swimming. I'll do some cardio. I'll work with my joints. I'll do what I can without having to risk my body any more than I already have. Even though today went great, even though I don't feel injured at all, that slight soreness, no matter how small of a sign, is a sign. And I got to take that shit and run with it. So we'll be better. I'm going to be better. That's why we're here. You know, I love this shit too much to not get better. So be patient with me. We're going to have fun with it and do our best. And that's what matters. So in the meantime, let me know how your lives and lifts have been going. Love hearing about it. And just be safe, you know, keep your body safe. Take the break if you need it, you know. Everyone needs a rest day. And sometimes you need a rest week. Deload weeks don't just have to be lightweight. Sometimes they can be no weight. And that might just make you the strongest you've ever been. So be safe. I love you all. I'll be back tomorrow. Bye.